Hello friends, welcome back to Geeky Sanjay. It is too long to meet you. How are you? I hope you are doing good and well. So I have created one project. It is e-commerce shop which is created in Java and Spring Boot. So this is the Capstone project and today I will give you the overview of my project. I will explain you how to create a project, what is the requirement, how we will create a structure of this project. So let's get started. So first thing is requirement gathering. As we know, we learn also in the LLD whenever we are gathering the requirements. So first thing is we have to see the functional requirement. Functional requirement is nothing. Identify the key feature what you are creating or what you have to develop. So as we can see here, we are creating a e-commerce website and the most part of the e-commerce website is user management. So we will create a user management directory. Inside of the user management, we will see the registration, login and profile management. Then next we will create a product catalog. So in the product catalog, we have to think about the browsing, product details and search. Next, we will create a cart and checkout. In this feature, we will create add to cart, cart review, checkout, and then order management. Inside of the order management feature, we will see order confirmation, order history. Then the next feature we have a payment integration. Payment integration may will do multiple payment options, secure transactions, and payment receipts. Then the most and important part is authentication. So we will use the Spring Boot security and JWT token using the Spring Boot security. So as we know, whenever we are gathering the requirement, first is the functional requirement and second is the non-functional requirement. So functional requirement means what you want to develop and non-functional requirement like what you are following. So here we will follow the multi-module monolith design. So what is this multi-module monolith design? Normally, whenever we will learn in the LLD, we know whenever we have to create a big application like e-commerce website or other website, financial websites. So we should create a small services. Okay. So same thing we are creating here multi module monolith design. Okay. So small services like microservices. Okay, we learn if we have to scale our application, we should create a microservices. But because this is the Capstone project, so what we are doing, we are replicating the same thing, but we are creating here monolith design. Monolith design is nothing where we have only one application instead of the multi application. But in the microservices, we have a small application and it is like on different servers. It is hosted on different servers and we will connect using the API. So same thing we will replicate here. We will create a multi-modules. Multi-modules means for every modules whatever feature we have discussed before previously, that we will create a directory and we will mimic the same microservices architecture here with the monolithic design. Why we are doing this? Because this is the Capstone project, and if we are doing like microservices, then it is very hard to test. And whenever you submit your project, it is very hard to explain how they will check. So that's why we are keeping this. So whenever we will create a project report, that time we will explain it very clearly what we have created and what is our intent to create that. Okay. Next thing, what pattern we are following. So here we will do the MBC. Okay. MBC, like MBC without view layer we are doing. Okay. MBC means module, view and controller. Okay. But nowadays pattern is like MBC is little old and new pattern we will use which is called module, view, controller, and services. Okay. So view part we will not do because we are creating this project for the backend only. So we will not create any front end. But I will tell you how you can like test your project using without creating a front end that we will see in the last. Okay. So here we will we have a MBC without view layer pattern. I told view layer pattern because we are not creating a front end. So we will use the MCS, module controller and services. Okay. So what is the benefit of this? Okay, this approach means MVC. First, scalability. Like whenever we will create a MVC, it is we can scale it. Okay, and maintainability code is very managed. We know where we have to write the services, where we have to write the modules. Okay, and the reusability. So we can reuse the code, create one service, and we can create reuse the same service code in another service and clean code. So these are the benefits of the MVC, okay, and this monolith design. So how we will structure our folder? Okay, so as you can see, first we have created here docs folder. I will tell you in detail what we have to add in these folders, but this is the complete folder structure which I followed for my project. You can definitely change your structure, but I'm just giving you a basic idea how you can create if you are not have any idea of the project folder structure. So first we will create a docs folder, and then we have a src, main, Java and com folder. There I have created an online shop. Inside the online shop, I have one shop folder. So this structure, whatever you are looking here, we don't have to create this. So whenever we are using the Spring Initializer, it will create a basic code for us that we can use. So whatever you can see here, src, main, Java, com, online shop, this all is boilerplate created by the Spring Initializer. So if you don't know how to create using the Spring Initializer, so I already created a one video previously for this. You just go there and check, and there you can see everything on very detail. Okay, so go ahead. Next, we have here in the shop, I have created this the directory. So as I told you, we are creating a monolithic architecture, but we are mimicking the microservices. So here I have created different like common, okay, config, data, cart and checkout, auth, product, order, user. So we can say these are the different services which we created. Okay, and then we have a application.java, then we have a resources, application properties, templates, index. These are the default file which you get it whenever you create this project. Okay, so in the detail we can see our project folder, what we will add inside of this doc. So I have created one API docs, class diagram, schema diagram, and Postman collections. These four things I have added this in the docs folder. So if someone is using my project and he want to know about my project, so how he can run my project, what are the API we are using, how we structure this like class diagram using the schema diagram, you can see our database schema. Okay. Next we have here. So in the shop we have a common folder. So common folder we will use where we don't like there is not related to any services. So this is the common service we will create, and there we will keep like exceptions, models and DTOs, which is usually normally used across application and all services. So in the exception, we know we can create a global exception, which we can write it here, and whenever any services fire the exception, that exception caught by this exception uh, class which we will provide inside of this exception. Okay, also we will create one config file. So here we will write our global configuration and web configuration. So if there is like any configuration you are not creating like for the user or your shop, so you can keep it here, which is across share across your folders. Next we have a data. So I have created one data folder. There I created one class data initializer and role repository. These all things we will look in detail whenever I will show my code to you. But here we just understanding the folder structure. Okay. Next, we have a card and checkout. Inside of the card and checkout, we are keeping like controller, DTOs, exceptions, models, repositories, and services. So whenever we are creating any folder like auth, product, order, user, okay, this all folder has the same structure. Every folder has the controller, DTOs, exceptions, models, repositories, and services. Okay, so what is the controller means? Controller where we just expose our API. We will write a code for the our APIs. DTOs is like a POJO objects which we will use for the response and request. So these are the classes, static classes. We will not write any condition and any business logic inside of these classes. These are the simple classes where we just define our class structure like product, how many items inside of the product, that we will create a product and define all the products, what type of the we have like name we have, so we can make it to string. Okay, like that we can use inside of that. So we will look into different. Then here we have a exception. So whenever you have to handle the exception, you can create your custom exception and you can pass it. Then we have a models. So model again, whenever like we are using the Spring Boot. Okay, so Spring Boot, for the Spring Boot, what we can do, we will write a models and based on the model, database automatically created for you. So if we know, like if we want some tables, so that we will create a model for that table. So whatever I'm discussing here, the all models, DTOs controller related to the garden checkout here. Then we have a repositories. Repositories means same database interaction. So whenever we are interacting with the database, we have to write the repository. This repository connected with our database, and we will write some custom functions, and it will also provide us the many default functionality. By default, we don't have to write all the function like getting, finding, all function it will provide us. Okay, this is the default feature which is provided by this Spring Boot. And here we have a services. So all the logic, whatever we are writing, we will write in our services. So this is our default folder. So default structure folder. Okay, now next we can see here we have to create a one class diagram. This class diagram will tell us how our project look like, how many classes we have to create, what are the line item we have to create in the classes. Okay, fields we have to create in the classes. So as you can see here, we have a user. So user, I have created like a string type first name, string last name, string email, string password. You don't go in deep because maybe possible whenever you are writing the code, that time you create more fields on this. So you don't have to come again and edit in this class diagram. This is the base diagram which you follow, and if you are changing something, you don't have to come and edit. This is the basic structure, so you know how it is connected to each other, different classes. So we have given this. So you have to define here relationship between user role, user card, user order, as we all already learn in the LLD. Next, we have to create a database schema design. So here all the classes which we have created. Okay, so we have not created like directly table in the database. We have created in the model inside of our project, and whenever we run our project, it will automatically create it all the table for you. So here you can define foreign keys, what foreign keys you are using in these tables, and all cardinality as before will seen in like a class diagram. Okay, so don't worry, it look like it is very complex, but it is not complex because whenever you create a database, then you just go there. There is a one tool. By clicking on that tool, you can create it easily. That is not a big task. And if you want to like confuse how to create a class diagram, so I already created one video in detail, like whenever we have any requirement, how we can break that requirement and how we can create this class diagram. So you can see that video. I will add that video in the description. The next question I have seen and many students ask to me, if we will create our project in the backend, then frontend is also required to test. So here is the solution. I use the Swagger. So whenever I run my project, it will automatically Swagger. It will like list down all my APIs here. Okay, like there is a two way to test our APIs. One is like a Postman, okay, and second is this. So it is good tool. You just use in your project also. So whenever you will create any API inside of the controller, it will automatically take. You don't have to do anything. You have to just install the project, just set up it. That's it. Rest it will take care all the controller. It will get all the endpoints and it will show it here. So this is the project I have created. Then now next we will open the code and I will explain my code to you. So here is my project. As you can see here, the same structure I followed, whatever I showed there. So here I have a documentation, doc file, doc folder. The doc folder there I have written I have added many things. You can see API documentation, class diagram, Postman collection JSON, schema diagram. This all I have added in my project. So whenever I submit my project to the college or institution, that time they know how to navigate my what is inside of my project and how to navigate. Okay. So for navigation, I have created one important thing. It is called the README MD. Okay. So what the README MD? README MD, it is very important part of our project. Here we will tell everything about our project. So if someone is looking our project and he don't know about our project, so he can come here and he can just see what features we have added, what technology we are using. So as you can see, first I have given the overview. Okay, what my function and what it is doing and what technology we are using. Then the feature, all the feature I have listed down here. Then next is the technology use. So what I am using for the backend, what is the for database, payment gateway. Okay, for the front end, there is I'm not creating any front end but if someone wants, he can create in the React or Angular. And the tools and library, what I am using in this project. And the folder structure I have added here. Then key highlights of my project, what I am using like strip integration, scalability के लिए what I am using. Then error management, how I'm managing the errors like resource not found and product not found. This is the custom classes I have created. Okay, and the optimize technique. What is the optimization for the performance? What I used it. Okay, then limitations. What is the limitations of this project? Like cast of strip. Okay, like whenever we are creating, I use the strip project to strip payment gateway. So the cost is required involved in this. Okay, that is not related to this project. That is the different one. Then database scalability, what we are using and how we can scale database in the future. Okay, and the caching mechanism and monitoring and logging. These are the things which we do not added here. These are the limitations which not following currently, but we can follow in the future. Okay, and then suggestion and for improvement. Like in the future, we will think what type of things we can do in the future. Like I told asynchronous processing. So what we can use the Kafka, but currently I'm not using any notification services. That's why I added the future responsibility. So whenever you create your doc like this, so if the institution just read this doc, he knows what you have created, what is your future thinking. Okay, so if you are not adding this all the items, but he know if you get time, you can create it. Okay, like multi gateway payment we can do, front end integration, advanced monitoring, and the conclusion and how to start my project. Getting started, this is very important. Okay, whenever we will submit our project, he will run and check our project. For that I have written how to start, what Java version I'm using, Maven I'm using, Stripe payment gateway API key is required. Then first installation, clone the Git repository, then navigation, the project directory, install the dependency, then configuration में what he has to write. Okay, then running the application, how we can run the application, and what are the endpoints I'm using. Okay, so all the details I have added and license is a MIT I have given to him. So this is the very important file, README file. I will share with you if required with the video description. Okay, so as you can see, we already understand this all the things. Doc already we see. Then here you can see we have authentication folder. We have inside configuration related to the authentication. Then controller, doc, JWT and users. Okay, here I just written all the uh, token filters, JWT encrypt because I use the Spring Boot for the authentication. Then I have created cart and checkout, same folder structure, controller, DTOs, exceptions, model, repository, service. I already explained it. If you want to more detail on it, I have created one video. I will share that video in the video description. You can go there, and I just detailed uh, discussion on these controllers, services, models, what is and how it is using. Then we have a common folder, we have a common config, and here I have created one data folder. Inside of the data folder, I have created a role repository, and here I have a data initializer. So what will do this data initializer whenever we will run our project? That time this will create some default settings data, okay, like roles. So I need some roles, okay. For that I have created some roles and some default users. So I have written the script. Every time whenever I run this project, it will automatically run and fill data in the database, okay. So you don't have to create basic things like whenever you have to log in, you don't have to create a user and roles that is already available on your project. So that's why I've created here one repository for this and one data initializer. Then I have created a order same. I have created here controller, order controller, DTOs, order DTO, order ID. Okay. Then here we have a models. In the order ID we have a models like order, order item, and order status. Then here I have a product. In the product, we have a controller advice. Inside of the controller advice, product controller advice. Product controller advice, what it will do? Like here, whenever any exception occur in the product, it will catch in this product controller advice. Okay, all the exception I have written here. This is the best practice instead of, because normally whenever this will occur, we will catch this in the controller, but I'm not doing there, and because our project is very big, that's why I created this the best practices. So I use here controller advice, and you can write your exception anywhere in your application. If any this exception occur, it will catch here and you can handle here. Okay, then I have a controller. Inside of the controller I have created a category controller, image controller, and product controller. Then I have a DTOs. DTOs, inside the DTOs you can see add product request, category request DTO, category response DTO, category response self DTO, image DTO, product, product request, okay, product response. So this is related to the product category and images. So these are the POJO classes which has all the fields which is required for these things. So we can use this for the request and response. The next we have a exceptions. In the exceptions, I have created multiple exceptions like already exist exceptions, like whenever we are creating a product or we are creating a category. So that time it might be duplicate. So that time we have to handle that case, like because there may be like thousands of categories. So we don't know how many categories, like which category we have added. So it will match with the database and it will give you the exception. So that time this already exists exception, we can use it. And we have a category not present exception, product not found exception, product not present exceptions. Then we have a model here. Inside of the model for the product, we keep like category, image, and product. Okay. Now next we have a repositories. In the repositories, category repository, image repository, and product repository. Then next we have a service. Inside of the service, category service, I category service. So you can see I category and category. So I category normally I created a interface for the service. Okay, and then I call this interface inside of this service. Same here, everything. This is the normal common, like we can say the naming convention. So whenever we write category services, keep the I capital and category services. So if someone other developer also see this, he knows this is the interface. Same for every services I have created a interfaces. So here we have a product services and image services. So this is the complete product I have created. Here we have a order. Okay, inside the order we have one controller, as I already explained to you. The next we have cart and checkout. Inside of this I have controller, cart controller, cart item controller, and checkout controller. For these three, I have keep it here and I have written the different APIs for it. Okay. And then we have a DTOs. So this all DTOs related to this controllers and services. Then we have a exception folders. So as you can see, I have created one common okay folder. There I keep exception, which globally handle the exception. Then in every module, like every directory, I have created a separate exception folder. So it will take care of this all cart and checkout related exceptions. So you have to follow the same, then it is like scalability is very big. So if in the future, like this cart and checkout services required more resources, then you can just create a separate microservices for this, and it is like not linked with other services. That's why I've created all folder on every, so it is itself a different application. Then we have a model. Inside of the model for the cart, I've created cart item, payment details, and payment status. Okay. Then here we have a repository, then card item repository, card repository, and payment repository. Then we have a services, the same I have created interfaces and the services for this. So this is the card and config and common config. I already global configuration I added here. Inside the global configuration, like beans I have created. Then we have a web config. There we can define other configs as well related to the web. Okay. And data folder I already explained to you. Now we have a user folder. Inside of the user folder, we have a controller. Here user controller, DTOs. Inside of we create user and response, user DTO, user request, and we have an exception like already exist exception. So this is the respective only for the users. Okay. Then we have a models, role and users. Then we have a repository, user repository, and then we have a services, the user services. And then we have a SOP application. So I have not added the test cases here. So there are something missing which I have not added because this is the Capstone project, and if I add that all the things, then it will take more time and I have to complete in that 1 month time frame. That's why I have not added much things. These are the more than enough for the Capstone project. So what are the missing in this project? Like notification, you can use Kafka services. Okay, that I have not used. Like if you need email and SMS notification, so that you can use, but I think you don't have to use for the Capstone project. You can just write it down as I explain in the README file. And then you, if you want, you can also write the test cases, but I have not written here the test cases also. My core function, like my focus on the core functionality, which I already added here. Okay, so these are the things I have created in the checkout. If you can see, I have used, second. Yeah. So I have used the payment gateway and Stripe payment gateway I have used. You also can use, go there and just create your account and you can use it. Okay. So this is the complete project I have created. Now I will run this project and we will see how we can test it. Okay. So as you can see here, we do not have a play button because we are on the different files. So first we will click on our SOP application file, then it will activate it. Then simply click on this and it will run my project and it will open the Swagger application, which I already install one package for that. Inside of our POM file, you can go there and you can check it. Here I have my POM file. Inside of the POM file, you can see we have a different type of package like Spring Security. So you can see here we have a Spring Boot configuration processor, and we have a starter test file. Then we have a starter OpenAI Spring Boot security crypto. Okay, if you need, I can create one more video. So just if you need, I will explain everything. And I'm planning in the future, I will create more videos and for the separate section, and I will explain the code also to you so you also can understand what I have created. Okay, so as you can see here, our Swagger is open. Whenever I run, it will automatically open here, and here you can see just we quickly go through our APIs. So here we have a user controller, okay, and here like you can see user controller we have different type of update, reset, add, user and delete. These are API we have created. Then we have a product controller. Inside of the product controller, we have a different type of APIs like update product, add product. Products means it will show all the products by the name of product. Then we have a category and brand name. So this is using for searching. Okay, if someone want to search using the category and brand, then he can use this API. Then we have a brand name and then product, then all products. It will show category wise all products, and then count by brand and name and by brand, and then here we have all products, okay, with all category. Then we have here delete product, then image controller and post like upload image and download image and delete this related to the image. Then this is related to the category. Inside of the category you can add the category, you can update the category, you can find by the name category, find by ID category, and all the categories, and one more for the delete category. Then we have a cart item control. There you can just simple update cart, add cart, and remove cart. Okay. And the order controller. Then we have a order, order, and order. Then here we have a checkout controller. So create session. Whenever we are doing the payment thing, that time it will create a session and it will give you the ID, the payment ID, which you can store in the database. Then we have a auth controller, and here we have a card controller. For the card controller we have created here. In the auth controller we have create login. It is very important. And then we have a my card, total price, and clear card. Okay, so these all API I have created, and whenever you someone create a front end for this, it is very useful. So it will provide you the complete product catalog, update, edit, and searching facility for the category and products, and authentication, login, and user management, which already seen before all the modules. Okay. So the next thing we will look to the how to create a database, okay, schema. Okay, like as you can see of the class diagram we have, I showed you the database diagram. Okay, here in the workbench, what you have to do, simply just here there is a server database. Here we have a reverse engineering. Click on this. Okay, I have created the database already and connected with this, so it will created all the tables. Then we have to create, click on the next. It will ask you the password of your database. Okay, like this, please enter password of following services. So this service like MySQL password, you have to put it here, and the username it is already there. Then I have connected it. Then click on the next. Then click on the shop. So I have created shop database. So you may find more database here. So whatever diagram you want to create, simple click on that. Click on next. Then next, and then execute. Okay, after execute, click on the next, then finish. So whatever table you already have, it is already created one diagram for you. You can get this diagram, you can export this diagram. All facility you have export, you can export JPG, SVG, PDF, whatever you want. If you want, you can modify this document. If it is like I have already align this document, the tables, that's why it look like very nice. But whenever first time you will create, you will get the messy diagram. So what you can do, you can just simplify by moving here and there and make it to proper diagram, and you can create a copy and reuse it. So we have discussed our basic requirement gathering. Then we have seen our code. In the code, seen the complete folder structure and what files we have created. Then the next we have seen the our API, how we can test for the front end it is working or not in using the Swagger. And the last part, documentation. So here is the documentation, whatever default template you will get from your college, okay, that you can keep it here, okay, and fill it like just write it down, declaration, why, who help you. Okay, so you can make like give the thank to everyone who help on this project, like your family and your instructor, teacher, that all you can write it down here. Then we have a table of content. Here we will write all the things like list of table, list of figures. List of tables means I will create some tables. I will show you how to create it there. And the list of figures. Okay. So figures means how many images, or like every image you have added there, you have to write it down in the list of figures. Then applied software project. So here we have an indexing of this abstract, project description, requirement gathering, class diagram, database schema design, okay, feature development process, deployment flow, technology used, conclusion, references. References, you can use whatever you use from the web, that references you can add here. So first I can show you the list of tables. So I have created two tables inside of this. One is requirement gathering and sprint planning. So whenever we are creating this, so we are going through one by one. First the requirement gathering, then we have to create our class diagram, then we have to create a basic schema diagram. If you want to create, you can create it. And then next, first you have to plan the sprint. Sprint means, what is the sprint? Sprint means how we have to do our task. So because if you can see, this is a very big project. So we have to just break it down the small task. Okay, like you can plan the sprint like one session. Okay, like 15-day sprint. You also follow in your company also. So in the 15 days, what you will complete? The main feature you will take, like user you have taken. Then user you have taken, then just create a different task for the user. Like first create user, then update user, then update their password. This all the things you can plan day by day. So in the 15-day sprint, you have a 15 days, like because you are not working for 5 days, you can work on 7 days whenever you have time. So plan sprint according your time and stick with your sprint timing, so you can complete it within month or within 2 months, whatever time you have, but focus on the sprint first create. I will show you here also. Then we have a list of figures. Inside of the list of figure, you can see I have added this class diagram data and which page number I have added. I have written this all. Whenever you click, it will just move to that directly to that page. You have to link also in that. Okay. Then applied software project, I have written project description, object relevance, and the Capstone project development process. They are like, here is too much English. Okay, so we most of the people like know the English, but some of not good at English like me. So what you can do, you can use the chat GPT, okay, for documentation. Simply you know the base thing and just give him and he will give you the writings. I also use the chat GPT and other AI tool you can use to write this documentation, but stick with your project only. Give your first, my process, I am not like telling him just write the document. No, first I will write in my English, tutti frutti English, whatever we say, and then I will give him. Then the chat GPT give me a proper formatted content for that. Then you read again and then put. Don't directly put. Okay. Then planning, we have here technology section. What is the defining milestones, resource allocations, design phases. Then we have a development. Inside of development, we have a backend development, authentication, database development, and the testing. So here we have a delivery, how we are doing the delivery. So for the delivery, the final phase of involved deployment project. So after doing a deployment, the project is there. So how we deploy the project, that we have to explain here. So simply you can get it, the chat GPT, just write it down. He will write for you. And then we have a requirement gathering here. Inside of this, we have a functional, non-functional, and if you can see this table already present in the top first page. So he knows how many things we have added here and which page number, 11 number page we have added this functional requirement. So here we have written, you also can add the photos and images, you can make it more beautiful. So here we have a complete product requirement. I will share this project report with the video description so you can see it and take a reference of this. So here we have a complete project requirement. It is called the PRD. Okay. Then payment, authentication, how it look like, what are the things. Then we have a non-functional requirement, what we are using, multi-module monolith design. Okay, explain about his scalability in focus, MVC without view layer. So you just write it down both the things and he will write for you. Okay, and the key benefit for this approach, then we have a complete project folder structure here. Okay, that you can paste it here. So like documentation we are creating, if he don't want to run our project, even he can see the document or readme file. He knows our project, what we have added inside of our project. Then here stakeholder analysis. So this is document is very big, around 55 pages I used. So you have to minimum create 40 pages. So these all details you have to add. Then stakeholders, like stakeholders means what type of stakeholders is using my application. So there are many type of stakeholder, like one is for the user, second maybe a vendors which is putting their project. Okay, third might be a government. Okay, so and fifth my fourth might be like who just giving you the money. So there are different type of stakeholder that you have to take care. So what you created for your stakeholder, like identify the stakeholders. So how many type, like potential users, like sub, okay, business owners, technical stakeholders, logistic and delivery, and the government also, legal advisor. You can put it here. These are the stakeholder. Okay, and then finding from stakeholder management. So what you are doing for the stakeholder, like pain point. So user ka pain point, what is the user's pain point, what is the business owner wants with your project, and how you satisfied with your project. Then we have some exceptions that you can add here. Okay, and action taken based on stakeholder analysis. Whenever you analyze this stakeholder, then what you added in your project, like for the user, enhanced product browsing, then secure transitions, and the order tracking. Okay, this we have created for user. User wants only to browse the project, your project, like whenever you are going to the Flipkart or Amazon, simply you want to be browse and whatever you want quickly. So searching, and it will be like successful transition. So how you maintaining it, that we have written here. For the business owner, what you have given, that I have written, like scalability, order and payment tools. This all we have added. And the planning and development. This is the important part I told you for the sprint planning. Okay. So here like a development timeline and sprint planning table one. Here you can see first page number I have added here, foundation. Okay. So foundation means create your project. Okay. This I have given 1 week where I just analyze all the things, requirement gathering, and create a empty project using the Spring Initializer. Next, we have a next 2 to 3 week we have assigned to the user management module. So whatever I showed, you can create a user management module in this. Okay, and this is the basic outlines. You can see in the page number there is a detailed sprint planning. Then we have a product catalog. We given week 4. So first week, second and third week, and fourth week we will create a product catalog. You might require more time. That is okay, but just you write it down and focus on the creation of project. Otherwise, it will go to the 5 months, 6 months. Okay, and you don't have that much time to create this project. So just stick with this timeline also. Then cart and checkout module. It is 2 week. It is 2 week. It will take 2 week development, 5 and 6 week. And then sprint 5. That is the payment integration and final touches. So 7 and 8. Okay, so 8 week I plan this. First, second, thing, 5 sprint is there, and in the 8 weeks we can complete our projects. So the foundation, what you will do, project initializer, database design, and class diagram, environment setup, this all you can do. Okay, then next, what is the milestone for this? Then user management module, week 2 3. There you just goal, what is your goal? Okay, and how you delivery, like model layers, service layers, control layers, what you will create inside of this security configuration. Okay, then we have a product catalog, week 4, where we create a model layers for this. Inside of the model, we will create like product and category and their relationship, then service layers, controller, data, seedings. Okay, and what is the milestone of this that sprint? Then fourth sprint, how we will create cart and checkout module, and then last payment gateway, what type of payment gateway you are using, And authentication also you can edit here, testing and documentation. So this is the complete sprint I planned for this. Here my class diagram I have added and the relation, and here database diagram which we create using the database tool. And you can see here I have created like listed all the foreign keys and the coordinate and relationship. Next, we have a unit testing. Okay, so unit testing, like we have to add what is the unit testing, what type of unit testing you are planning, what is the scope of this. So here I added some testing proof. Okay, you can see here I use my Swagger and user authentication. So these are the things which increase your document pages. Okay, so it is good because how much text you will write an explanation. So simply you just testing screenshot for everything like user authentication. So if you the like he don't have time to run my project, he can see here, yeah, it is working fine. So how we can like authorize our here you can see here we created a token and here we have added a authenticate our Swagger. Then we product catalog. For the product catalog, we you don't have to test all the API. You can test one or two API and just add your screenshots here. Okay, so you can see card functionality, and here we have different type of like order functionality. So whenever I did a card, so you have to explain it properly. Okay, like you can see here card functionality, first add item to cart, then remove item to cart, here show cart, and then we have a delete cart. Okay, same thing, place order, show order, payment functionality. Okay, whenever we are doing the payment thing, you will get here, you can see the link of payment. Okay, whenever I open this in the browser, it will show me like this, and whenever I pay this, okay, it will give me the success. Okay, that you can add. And here you can see the feature development process. Okay, so normally we have to tell overview of our project, and one thing we have to take on here, I just given a very like quickly explanation of my modules. But here you can see add to cart, I have given which endpoint is there, what is the description related to this API. Okay, and what like whatever, because I cannot see here, so I'm explaining here. Okay, like system check if product is already in the cart, then yes, update the quantity, otherwise add the product whenever we are adding the product. Okay, so the cart item. Okay, place order, so I explain everything here, then I added the screenshot. So these all complete testing I have done. You can see here all the things, summary of state changes for the add to cart and place orders. Development process, we have added request flow to backend. Okay, so here we have given the request, API requested for the endpoint. So here we have a cart item. Okay, so every like I have given here, see flow of MVC architecture. Here what type of request response we are giving, here what type like architecture we are using, controller services response. Okay, you will get all the headings there, you have to fill it, that's it, nothing else. Then optimize achievement, what you like how you optimize your application, like caching, database indexing. Okay, and how it impacting on your project, that I have written here, batch processing, type integration. Okay, and these are the benchmarking which is so our project is optimized. Okay, then key takeaway of our project, then deployment flow. So here we have to explain like how we will like what is the server we are using, like VM, AWS or Azure. Okay, and which type of environment we are using, and how we will use the load balancing, what the load balancing. And here we have a deployment flow, like first we have a version control, and okay, and then we have a continuous integration, CI CD pipeline. Then here we will deploy our project. Okay, and monitoring. And so you can see it is too long. So what you have to do, technology use, what technology you have uses here, like I use the Java, Spring Boot, database MySQL. Okay, and security, what we will use, Spring Security and JWT. Then JUnit and Postman for testing our project. and documentation. Swagger, using the Swagger, we use the documentation of API. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to give the overview of your project and one thing like checkout, authentication checkout you can see on the top. You have to give one feature complete detail description. Okay, so like that you can create your documentation. It is too long. It took me around 1 week to create, and whatever references like I have taken image from the free pick and the Spring Security. I use this blog to watch this. I also created for the Spring Security one video. If you want in detail, you can go there and check. That's all for today's video. If you learn something from this video, make sure you hit a like button and press the subscribe button and follow me on Instagram and check out my website geekysanjay.com, link in the description. Thank you.